Oh Allah the Almighty, Allahu Allah, protect me and guide me, Allahu Allah, oh, to your love and mercy, Allahu Allah. Ya Allah, don't deprive me, Allahu Allah, from beholding your beauty, Allahu Allah. Oh my Lord, accept this plea, Allahu Allah. ربي جل الله 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 ما في قلبي غير الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه سبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الحبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا فوقاهم الله شر ذلك اليوم ولقاهم نضرة وسرورا وجزاهم بما صبروا جنة وحريرا متكئين فيها على الأرائك لا يرون فيها شمسا ولا زمهريرا ودانية عليهم ظلالها وذللت قطوفها تذليلا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
My topic today is let us be Muslims. The worldview underlining the behavior and the character of a Muslim is the Islamic worldview, which itself has its value premises on the Quran and the Sunnah. A typical Muslim today appears to have a lag between the life as enjoined on him or her, the life enjoined on him by the Quran and the life he has installed for himself. He appears to have a lag between the social and political institution which the Quran aspires for him to install and the one he has installed for himself. and developed over the course of history. There appears to be a lag between the universality of the Quran and the isolationist religiosity of the present-day Muslim. An incident was recorded in the life of the Caliph Umar, radiallahu anhu. He was going to travel from Mecca to Medina, from Medina to Mecca, one early morning. Then he noticed a flock of sheep by the bottom of an hillock. The flock was being tended by a boy. The Caliph wanted to know whether the teachings of Islam, at least in their elementary form, had reached this boy who lives in a remote part of Arabia, and how this has impacted on his life. So he approached the boy and said to the boy, "I'd like to buy one of your lambs." And the answer was a definite no. "Why not?" said the Caliph. The boy rejoined, "Because it's not mine. It's my master's and I am his slave." "What does that matter?" said the Caliph. "Take this money, sell me one of the lamb, and go back and tell your master that a wolf has devoured the lamb." The boy stared very, very hard at the Caliph, incredulously. The poor chap did not know who he was staring at. "I cannot cheat my master at the other side of the hillock. If I cheat my master, and am I going to be able to cheat the Grand Master over there that is overlooking both of us? That is listening to what we're doing? That knows exactly what we're doing?" The response of this boy astonished the Caliph. The narrative says, tears came down his cheeks. This was an illiterate boy. He probably hadn't read the Quran because he was an illiterate. But evidently, the influence of the teaching of Islam had got into him and had impacted his life. He must have heard, he must have been told the word of the Quran that you cannot sell or give what you do, what is not yours. That Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein. That if 3 people are in a discussion, Allah is the 4th. 4 people are in, Allah is the 5th. More or less, Allah is amongst them. The Caliph tenderly told the boy, "Please take me to your master." And he did. The Caliph inquired from the master, "How much was it that you bought this slave boy?" He mentioned it, and the Caliph says, "Take this and let him free." The boy was let free, and the Caliph went on his way. But the question may as well be asked, how many of us, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, in our various walks of life, in our separate walks of life, how many brilliant products of our university, how many of those that hold the affairs of their countries, indeed, how many people that have subscribed to the United Nations Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights have reached that stage of mind that this boy of 1400 years ago had reached, and felt the same sense of God and held themselves responsible and accountable to Him in all they've done or taught. It is this sense of God that the Quran aims to inspire in man, basing thereon a society, members of which are shepherds and keepers of each other, a brotherhood coextensive in its full reaches with mankind, who, in the words of the Prophet, form the family of God. Islam is a way of life which provides the worldview which influences the human personality, behavior, lifestyle, taste and preferences, the attitude to other human beings, environment, and resources. The Islamic worldview, values, and institutions impacts on the individual as well as the society. It gives primary importance to moral values, human brotherhood, and socio-economic justice. It relies on the integrated role of values and institutions, families, states, and markets to achieve the realization of this vision, ensuring the well-being of man. Let us put this topic in perspective by asking, what is the purpose of life? If you do not figure out what the purpose of life is, you are most likely going to sail off without a rudder and get buffeted by the very rough sea of life. If you do not have a clear vision of the purpose, you are going to waste your time and energy on the most tangible, short-term sign of achievements at the expense of what is really important. Allah says in the Quran, I have not created the jinn and mankind except to worship me. In Arabic, worship means ibadah, and it connotes obedient submission to the will of God. This is the essence of the messages that the prophets have brought over time to humankind. The will of God is embedded in the divinely revealed law. And this revealed law, basically, consequently, the revealed law forms the foundation of worship. The various acts of worship, as revealed by the revealed law, are there geared, designed to build God consciousness in man. God consciousness. Islamic ethics and values are, like I've said, designed to build God consciousness. So if you look, for instance, at the 5 pillars of Islam, testifying that there is no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger, establishing prayers. Regular prayers are enjoined on Muslim at fixed time, such that the life of the Muslim is, based on the remembrance of Allah on a daily basis. The material and spiritual needs are interwoven. The Quran also says, Salat prevents shameful and evil deeds. The 3rd pillar, Zakat, stimulates personality growth and improves ties of mutual love. The 4th pillar, fasting. Fasting in the month of Ramadan, fasting is enjoined upon you, as it was enjoined upon those before you, so that you can develop God consciousness. The 5th pillar, Hajj. Hajj, once in a lifetime, if you can afford it, you need to make preparations, but the best of preparation is righteousness. In the same vein, when you look at the articles of faith, believe in Allah, believe in the angels, believe in the books, in the prophets, in the day of judgment, and in the divine decree. The Muslim is enjoined to believe in the existence of that which is beyond the reach of perception. It portends the transient nature of the world and the accountability which you're going to have in the eternal life hereafter. Let's take let's take a few of some of the virtues we need to inculcate as Muslims. Time is well spent, so I'm not going to dwell on that because I know a lot of us know what these virtues are. Sincerity of purpose and purity of intention, fulfilling the obligations, tolerance, patience, respect for all human beings, peace, dignity of labor. I'll give an example, examples from the life of the Prophet for some of them. Let's say tolerance, patience. The Prophet of Islam was in the Masjid al-Nabi in Medina, the second most sacred mosque, when a Bedouin, that's an Arab, a desert Arab, entered the mosque and urinated inside it. It was obviously a very provocative matter. But the Prophet was not at all perturbed. After the nomad had urinated, the Prophet simply asked his companions to bring a bucket of water and wash the place clean. We're enjoined to show respect to all human beings, irrespective of their creed. There was yet another incident. One day the Prophet was sitting with his companions in Medina when a funeral procession passed. The Prophet stood up, and the companions called his attention to the fact that that was a Jew, that was a funeral of a Jew. And his response, was he not a human being? In other words, this incident shows that the Prophet was looking at the matter by separating two different aspects of the Jew. That is, he's being a non-Muslim on one hand, and he's being a human being on the other hand. At that moment, he overlooked his non-Muslim identity and saw him simply as a human being. Peace. Islam aims to build a peaceful society at all costs. One of the teachings of Islam is reconciliation is the best. In this regard, Islam enjoins us to establish peace even at the cost of unilateral sacrifice and patience. A case in point is the Hudaybiyah Treaty, an event of the first phase of Islamic history. This was, in actual fact, a no-war pact, which was secured by accepting all the demands of the rival group. To bring about an atmosphere of peace within the society, Islam has given a number of commandments. For instance, the Prophet of Islam observed, a believer is one from whom people feel secure as regards their lives and their property. Another hadith has this to say, by God, he is not a believer, from whose nuisance his neighbor is not safe. The dignity of labor. I'll just buttress this point by just quoting a few hadiths. That one of you takes his rope and then comes with a load of wood upon his back and sells is better than to beg of men, whether they give or reject him. The best earnings are those of the businessman who does not tell a lie when he speaks, does not misappropriate the trust, does not break the word if he promises, does not boast while selling his goods, does not prolong the period of repayment of loan, and does not cause difficulties to his debtors. Allocate your resources. All resources are the disposal of human beings, I trust, which must be used for the well-being of all in conformity with the Islamic values. Well-being in Islam is not just a function of material possession and consumerism. It is a function of the balanced satisfaction of both the material and the spiritual needs of humanity. The Quran says, the material things which you are giving are but conveniences of the life and glitter thereof. But that which is with Allah is better and more enduring. Will you not then be wise? We have got to define what we stand for and draw the line in a safe place. There are times when you see that what I am about to do is wrong. You need to resist that temptation whose logic is, in this extenuating situation, just this once it's okay. Why? Because you will find out that life is an unending stream of extenuating situation. So if you cross the line once, tendency is that you continue to do that over and over again. The marginal cost of doing something, just this once, something wrong, just this once, seems annoyingly low. But what you do not see is the end result that that path would lead you. Allah says in the Quran, leave sin, open or secret, the recompense shall surely come. Again, a number of times that we find ourselves in situations where our value judgment says this is the right thing to do, but then we succumb to fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of poverty. My brother and sister, please go ahead and do that right thing. Brave up and do it. Allah says in the Quran, Satan threatens you with poverty and orders you to immorality. What Allah promises you is forgiveness and bounty. The good and the evil are not equal. There's also the logic of everybody is doing it. So why not? Why not? Because you're a Muslim. Do not allow the overwhelming nature of evil to delude you. The Quran says, do not let the strutting about of the unbelievers in the land deceive you. This is but a trifling and fleeting enjoyment. The conscious Muslim, the one that believes in Allah and the last day, would bring to realization the fact that accountability is going to be on an individual basis. Yes, everybody is doing it, but accountability is on an individual basis. Says the Quran, each one of them will come before God on the final day as an individual. So, in our individual capacity, should we not resolve to leave Islam and contribute our quota to making the world a better place? In our individual capacity as a politician, as an entrepreneur, as a trader, as a student, as a politician, and we seek to get to office through due process and fair means. I will contend only with a view to adding value, providing service, and leaving my sphere a better place than I met it. I will not embezzle. I will not misappropriate funds. I will not be corrupt. I will not aid and abet corruption. As a public officer, I will discharge my duty with focused diligence. I will be fair. I would have integrity. I will be reliable. I will be dependable. It would not matter that they are failed institutions that allow for anomalies and adverse incentive. I would be guided by a higher ideal and a high sense of value that is adverse to misbehavior. I will not amuse myself at the expense of another on the social media by engaging in social media avenues and blogs that are into glorified slandering, backbiting, and defamation of character, which is the order of the day. I will not directly or indirectly put a human life in jeopardy. I will not deliberately indulge in riba. I will strive for excellence in all that I do. I will not cheat. I will give full measure. My word will be my honor. I will discharge my obligation. As a student, I will work very hard and pray very hard to achieve excellently on merit. I will not compromise myself or my dignity otherwise. As a person, I will strive to earn an halal living, holding fast to the belief that I am bound to receive what Allah has ordained for me. Treading on the forbidden path will not be an option. It will not earn me any more than has been apportioned for me. I will strive to make Islam operative in all spheres of my life, as should ideally be the case. My decisions and actions will be informed by my value judgment, which itself is informed by my Islamic worldview. I will strive to be amongst those that the Quran refers to as those that are wise, those with understanding, those that reflect, those that are discerning, those that are patient, those that are humble, those that are God-conscious. I will strive to live Islam. I will be a conscious Muslim. In the final analysis, a conscious Muslim forms part of that community, which Allah has referred to in the Quran as, you are the best nation, the best community produced for mankind, because you command righteousness, forbid evil, and believe in Allah. Let us make Islam a shaping force in our lives, impacting on all activities and behavior. Let us be Muslims. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So my topic for today is, are we on the wrong path? Please, assimilate that question and ask yourself if you as the individual, you are actually on the right path as a Muslim or on the wrong path. I'm not asking Nigerians because you and I make Nigerians. And that is the reason why as Muslims, you have to uphold your religion. Not because somebody will tell you you are the best, but because on the judgment day, you as an individual, you will give account of yourself. Not me, Mrs. Kadri, giving account for Mr. Kadri. No. It's every man before the throne of God and giving account of his or herself. Every human being today came from a primary unit, which is called the family. But we are losing it. Why are we losing it? The busy parent syndrome. Why am I saying the busy parent syndrome? A parent wakes up in the morning, children are not yet awake. She gets up, she gets to the car, she goes to work, children are not yet awake. She gets to work, the children are being taken care of by a kite in quote at home, who will bathe them, feed them, give them to Mr. John, who is the driver, who takes them to school, drop them with Mrs. Oda, who is the class teacher, and they're in class from 8 to 2 p.m. Parents are still at work, right? Fine. This child closes from school, Mr. John, the driver, picks her, brings her home to Ekaite, who is the house girl, who will give them food, prepare them for the next lesson teacher who comes around to give them maybe music lesson or mathematics lesson, and the cycle goes on. Before you know what is happening, it's night time, the child goes to bed to sleep. I, Dr. Kadru, who supposedly is a doctor and very busy with patients, in quotes, comes home by 9-10 p.m. and then goes to the room and says, how are you people doing? Ekata, did you make sure everybody ate? Did you make it to the house? John, and the children are sleeping. And this becomes a vicious circle for we, the parents, claiming we are bringing up our children. Is that really so? Ekata is going to give her the Calabar language. Before you know what is happening, she's pronouncing our phonetics the other way around. Maybe John is a Yoruba man who has a typical Yoruba accent, and then they start speaking the other way. And then on Sundays, you're like, your child is telling you something, say, what kind of English are you speaking? Were you there? Are we on the wrong path as parents? You have to be there. It's no longer work-life balance, but work-life integration. You have to make it work for you. Not what works for Mrs. Otiti, but what works for Mrs. Kadri. And that is how life should be. Don't look at one size fits all. Because the busy parent syndrome has really taken up our psychic that our children are abused sexually, are molested, are told things. Our children are told they are Boko Haram in school. What have you told your child to talk about when somebody tells him or her she's a Boko Haram? And you say you are a Muslim by name, but not by practicality? You have to teach them. When it comes to religious issues, X, Y, Z, when it gets to this barrier, back off. You have a teacher. That is all about the busy parent syndrome. Another very important thing a lot of us fail to look into, which for my how many years of practice now, I've seen it growing by the day, is the drug addiction in our children. And we sit down and tell ourselves, it is not my portion. God forbid. Allah is in control. Allah is in control for over how many billion people on earth. Why should it be in control of your own home when you fail to take the necessary steps? Necessary steps, because sometimes when you get to hear what the students tell you, you understand the angle they are coming from. My father drinks. So are you in the right position to tell your child not to drink? We all hope for our children to be better than us, right? So if your child is not drinking more than you, what morale do you have for that your child? No. You think the child is sleeping by 9 p.m., you bring down that wine and you are drinking it. Or sometimes some parents even go to the essence of taste it, there's nothing bad about it. Muslims. I'm talking about practicality now. I'm confided with a lot of information that sometimes I have to also decongest my mind so that I will not be on the street. As a psychiatrist and I'm being a medical doctor, people confide in me. And these are practical things we see on a day-to-day basis. I was just telling my friend, Mrs. Sada, that it's only in Lagos I found Muslims and Christians marrying and they are living in peace. I don't know if I'm wrong. But the truth is that, are we really on the wrong path? Because one Muslim has actually told me that, Dr. Kadu, don't mind that they are deceiving themselves. So, me, I was a Christian and I married a Muslim and I've converted to a Muslim. Because who are we slavery for? Our children. Then where do these children go to when they grow old? Either you choose being a Muslim or choose being a Christian. You see the child, when he eventually wants to marry that pretty girl, will remember that my mother is a Muslim. But all the while, he has been a redeemed Christian church girl. And then by the time he's convincing that girl, you see, my mother is a Muslim, so it doesn't really mean. So when I marry you, it does not mean I can go to the church and then you can go to the mosque and the children can choose. How many times are these children going to be choosing between Christianity and Muslim? Where are we getting it right now? So we need to put that nip in the bud. Decide. On my BlackBerry platform, I have about almost 3,000 contacts. And one day somebody BB'd me and told me, I want to marry, but there are two things I'm looking for. A pretty girl and also religious. I said, you have to choose. You can marry a religious lady and then make her, you know, there's some things, it's not about physical prettiness or beauty that we look at. There's so many things that all compose the beauty. He said, no, I would love to marry a religious girl, but I don't want to marry a war girl. I want this person has to be fine, small. So you see, but the truth is that we can have it all. Ask me how. How? You can have it all, but not in equal measures and not at the same time. So you have to be the one to choose. Is it religion superseding beauty? Or will you say beauty and then make her religious? But she must go with you. She must have that passion that she can be more religious. Because the thing is that about beauty, unless you go for cosmetic surgery, that is the only way you can say that she will transform from like kind of my flat nose to a pointed nose. But you can make her more religious by practicalizing it and making her see the beauty about your religion. Let's not divert too much about the drug abuse. The ages of 15 to 25 years of age now in Nigeria are into a lot of drug abuse. As parents, at least from the forum I'm seeing here, we have over 80% of us as parents. Let me tell you the most important thing now. Your children are not going to smoke Indian hemp, because if they smoke, they will know that they've smoked. You are going to perceive it. And you say, who is smoking Indian hemp? It goes smelling, no. What is, no. My dear parents, do you know what they are doing now? They take it in their egusi soup, they take it in their jollof rice, they take it in their pepper soup, they take it in their indomie, and they drink it as green tea. When your child that never loved vegetable, all of a sudden is loving green vegetable, please find out what that vegetable is. There's a problem. I have a parent who was actually encouraging his son to take his green tea, not knowing that that green tea is Indian hemp. It's green. If you know what Igbo is, please Google it. It's a green leaf, long like spinach. He has even grown it in the garden in the house, and the mother keeps watering it. Will you go and tell Allah you were blinded? You did not know. That is why they will tell you that Google is everybody's friend. It's whatever you do to it that will, whether the good or bad. They do not smoke Indian hemp anymore. These are the different platforms. They are not taking it. So when you see your child is doing something, they said, the monkey said, even the child is backing on his back, he cannot attest to what he's doing. It's only the one in his womb. Please don't say my child can never do it. Because then this woman was called to the school, she said, never, this boy sleeps behind me, it's not possible. They said, this boy is running on the streets and they are misbehaving. What does it take? She said everything until she said, oh, there's one green tea. They said, go and bring it. A bag. And by the time the NDLA people checked, it was Indian hemp. And she collapsed. They said, madam, don't die. You must wake up. Your child is in trouble. So these are the things we need to understand now. Practical things going on in our homes that we fail to understand. Being a medic does not mean that I know it all. No. As much as possible that I'm a medical doctor, I seek advice from my gate man to the cleaner to everyone. Never you underestimate the worth of anybody living with you, because you don't understand the wealth of knowledge they have when you are running around the streets of Lagos. Because a lot of us these days are very busy but not productive. They are two different things. I have a meeting in Ikeja, you are running traffic everywhere. At the end of the day, you get to Ikeja, the person has just left and told the secretary to tell you that he's not around. What have you done for the day? Nothing. Meanwhile, somebody is in his room, sitting down, and a phone call away, alert is ringing on his phone, millions. So please, let's try to be productive, not being busy. It does not save you anything. Let's leave drug addiction by the side. Another very important thing as Muslims, let me say as religious people, because in Nigeria, a lot of us are blindly optimistic. Why did I say that we are blindly optimistic? When there are issues, we tend to tell ourselves, Allah is in control. Or let me talk to my Christian brothers and sisters. God is in control. Back to sender is not our portion. Fire, fire, Holy Ghost, fire is not my portion. I see it every day. Muslims will not bind and cast and say fire. We'll go to our mat and pray. But there's a thin line when that man tells me I'm hearing the voice of God and I'm delineating it from the real hallucinations. There's a thin line. Let's not just say it is back to sender. Please, if you're saying back to sender, the person right behind you, if you say back to sender now, let's say back to sender, till you get to the wall, you start bouncing back. It's not bouncing to sender anymore. We have to face reality. When you are not feeling fine, quite enough, I'm sure, let me just ask the crowd, who has said, this morning? Can I see hands? For no reason, just yourself. These are the things you do on a day-to-day. Do you know the meaning of You've thought of more than 100 things. Ask my sisters there. Breakfast for the children. What do they eat this afternoon? As they are here, what are they going to eat this afternoon? Tomorrow is school. I know they finish exam, but uniform, snacks. Hey, I forgot to know. I didn't buy their juice. Oh, my husband. And for you know it's happening. Such a deep breath. But to some other people, and they will tell you, Madam, how is it? It is well. God is in control. You know, that is it. Look, in Oxford Dictionary, as of last year, they said the most commonly used language was selfie. But in Nigeria, I think we need our own dictionary because it is well is our common language. Everything, even if they are crying, it is well. Why can't you face reality? Talk to somebody who will understand you. Do you know what? I've devised what it is well in my language. W is worried. E, you are experiencing poor sleep. L, you are having low mood swings, not being happy. The other L, your energy level is down. Prove me wrong. Most of us, not sleeping well is the order of the day in Nigeria. Lesotan billion 5 is what everybody go, and there's no system in place to say, don't buy this Lesotan again. You are on a pathway to addiction. Because by the time you take 1.5 milligram this week, next week you are taking 3 milligrams, in 2 weeks you are taking 6 milligrams, in 4 weeks you are taking 12 milligrams. What is that? Yaba left. And you know, but I'm sure most of you here, you not go to Yaba before you say, no, it's not my portion, no, God forbid. The truth is that people like you and I, they are the ones that are on bed in Yaba. Because of this, it is well. If it is not well, say it. What is the big deal? What can people understand it is not well? And when they are asking you, okay, what is this not well? I say, well, I have just told you this is not well, but you are not, I won't disclose it. I've already spoken to my malam, or I've spoken to my friend I trust, or I've spoken to my therapist. Because your best friend has a best friend who has a best friend who has a best friend who has a best friend. So that information you don't want to share, before you know what is happening, it has gone viral. So look for that one person. When it is not well, you can confide in. You can trust to say, it is not well, oh, Brother Akim. I need prayers. There's nothing wrong. Crying is a therapy on its own. By the time you keep internalizing it and heart attack, nobody will come and tell us that you had that attack, or they say she died peacefully in her sleep. Hello? Peacefully. After it is all the time and you keep internalizing, it's only in the midnight you cry to God. It's good. Do tahajjud. Do midnight. We all cry to God at different points in time. But the truth is that if I have headache and my brother here has headache and he's taking Panadol for his headache, and me, I'm telling my God, God, take this headache away. And he's telling God, this Panadol I'm taking, please let it work for my headache. Who do you think God is going to answer? God is going to answer him, because it's also telling God, I'm helping myself, please help me more. But me, I'm like, God, different volumes. See, stress cannot be eliminated from us, but we can manage stress. Because you know what you can do, how you can manage it, and how you can go about it. For the past 6-7 years, I've not been to my 12. Reason being that I can't. I'll wear boots, run to my 12. By the time I'm coming back home, I'll be too useless. I'll leave the basket of tomatoes there. By the following morning, some of them are decomposed. It's just a phone call away. He has to crap, please, I need a basket of tomatoes, and I need a blender when it comes to my house. You will spend money to get some things done. Please. Don't see it as a burden, as a mother, that you have to do it all. No. A mother, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are a carer, you are a sister, you are everything. And please, women, marriage is not a protective factor for us. Just know that now. Being married is not a protective factor for you being happy. It's an additional burden. But being married is a good thing. Because on your own, there's that self-confidence. You are in your husband's house. You are able to have children without them saying they are bastards. But you are taking in somebody's name, not only his name, his family. Oh. No, you cannot do without in-laws. Everybody, whether the in-law is the worst on earth, you have to deal with it. Unless you want to drop out, because that is where the divorce rates are now increasing on a day-to-day basis. Last month, a young girl walked into my office. She's getting married this December, and told me, Dr. Kadri, you are part of my project. I said, how? He said, because I'm married and I'm taking this marriage as a project. I'm like, hello? How? How do you mean? He said, because she's going to be in that marriage for just 5 years. From 4.5 years, she started looking for reasons to jump out of that marriage. And then me, I'm going to be her emotional support, because she will never disclose any emotional things with her husband. And please, I should not say where there is love, because there is no love. It's a project like any project to execute and build a new national theatre. She's going to make it as a project to be in that marriage. I have 2 children and live after 5 years. These are the things going on these days. So you have to be wise. When you are loving that girl, thinking that that girl is the best for you, you don't know that that girl is taking you as a project. And I told her, so what, you may fall in love along the line. I said, please leave that. That is why you are part of this project, Dr. Kadri. Because I'll be discussing my emotional issues with you. And please, I shouldn't be blinded at the fact that even men do that. Men also do that too. So I should not look at only the women. I'm like, okay, it's only a woman that has come to me now. I'm waiting for the man to come so they will tell me how they are seeing it in a different way. Things are happening, but we shouldn't allow those things to get into our psyche to make us less of Muslims. Stand as a Muslim. People will say, Dr. Kadri, are you a Muslim by name? I say, no, I'm a Muslim by birth and I'm a practicing Muslim. What else do you want to understand? But you do, the way you do is like as if you are a Muslim. Their parents started convincing me small. You see, I said, look, my dear, I don't know how old I am. This will not work. Oh. If you have plans, it will not work. But you see, this is scarf is not. What about those that wear the long? I said, everybody is doing their own. Judge not your neighbor. I'm wearing my own. She's wearing her own. It doesn't make any. I'm a Muslim and I will die as a Muslim. Except Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam comes out to them and says, being a Muslim is not the right way. Then I will know, yes, I will change to another. But for now, I'm going to live, sleep, die, drink as a Muslim. Nothing can ever change that. Because being a Muslim has made me who I am today. Ask my Muslim sisters here. If you are not prayerful, you are not yet a mother and a wife. They are the ones that you see in every religious place. Oh, women, they pray fast because there's so many problems with our children, our husbands. If they are not there, they will carry picture. Today is Sunday, go to all the churches. 90% of them are women, both married and unmarried. Likewise, as Muslims. These are the reasons why I'm asking, and please ask yourself, are you on the wrong path? It is for you to decide. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Allah